Thomas, your corporate leadership and team development expert, here with some bonus content. As you all know, if you've been watching my videos, go back and check it out. But what I like to do is expound upon the information I provided in the episodes. And today I really wanted to take a deep dive into employee engagement. And again, I don't know what level of leadership you're in. And maybe you're someone that's an emerging leader that's recognized that I want to learn some tips and strategies and ways that I can improve on this journey of becoming a leader. Maybe you're someone that is starting a business and now you've decided, you know what, I need to start thinking about building a team. So let me prepare myself. Or maybe you've been leading for a while and you just need a refresher. But again, in this employee retention series, I've been talking a lot about pretty much employee engagement. And I really want to kind of expound upon that a little bit more so you all really can take this information in, because again, this is a driving force in retaining team members. This is a driving force because once you get them in the door, how do you keep them there? Again, there are a lot of individuals that will know within a few months if this is an organization they plan on staying at for a while. I mean, literally that first interaction, that first 30 days is so imperative. So what are we doing to make sure that throughout their time and their tenure at that organization, that it is a great experience? And it really ties into employee engagement. You want people to stay. So now we need to start focusing on that. But what exactly is employee engagement? So employee engagement is really tied to the emotional connection to that person's profession. If you can get them that emotional connection, again, we're talking about humanizing individuals. It's really getting connected to that emotional side of people wanting to be there. Their heart is in their profession. Their heart is with that organization. And it's a connection piece that happens there where they now feel connected to that role and responsibility and that organization, their support. But I also add there that there's an actual aspect of activities. It's going to be activities, the actions of that leader, of that organization, that's going to drive creating this emotional connection to that profession, to that role responsibility. It's about the action that we take as leaders. So we want to make sure that we're focused on that. Yes, we want our team members to have that level of company loyalty and stay for a long time. But what are we going to do that is going to ensure that that activity that we're doing as leaders, that activity that the company is doing, is making them really want to stay? And that's why employee engagement is so important. So let's really expound upon that and what that looks like. So throughout the messaging that I've been doing within, when we're talking about teams and engagement and really changing that turnover issue you might have, or the turnover issue you want to prevent, is talking about relationship building. So one of the key areas we want to look at first is the relationship that we want to build with that team member and their leader. That is going to be so important, that relationship that leader has with that team member. I've been talking a lot about how we have to make time to talk to our team members, get to know them from the beginning, from when they open that door and walk in to go to that organization and say they're brand new. That is your opportunity to connect with them from the beginning. If your company doesn't have a new employee orientation, and maybe there's a process that maybe your HR department goes through, but are you a part of that process? How can you connect with that person from the day they step inside that door? And that is really a key component that can really help in starting to build that relationship. But also that has to be maintained, because as a leader, regardless of the level you're in, you can get tied up in the daily activities and you can kind of get lost in the work. But what kind of policy that you have that's open door, or maybe you have a weekly check-in every Wednesday, or you have specific dates for your team members so you can maintain that relationship. So you as a leader needs to build that relationship with that team member super early on, because as you're building that relationship, as you guys are getting connected professionally, you guys are eventually going to be pretty much like a secondary family to that person. Then again, that's really tap into that emotional connection that will essentially get them to really buy into that organization, their role and responsibility. Because I know for me, I support my leader so much that I'm like, I don't want to make her look bad. I want to make sure she looks great. I don't want to bother her because I know she has a ton of things going on. So I push myself because, again, I have that emotional attachment to that role, but also to the fact that I have connected with her in such a way that I am like, yes, I want to make sure she looks good. So I need to make sure I'm doing my part, and I want to make sure the organization looks good all together. So again, make sure you're doing your part. And I continue to talk about that, to make sure you are having regular connections, coaching your team members. Don't let it be solely when it's time to give a review, your 6-month review. Make sure that you're checking in with people on a regular basis. And I want you to, even again, I challenge you on one of the episodes before, but have you taken time to identify 3 things you know about your team members? 3 things that you can utilize. Oh man, I don't see a Starbucks cup on your desk. What's going on? Did you stop drinking Starbucks? And they're like, oh, I didn't even know you knew I drank Starbucks every day. I didn't even know that was something you paid attention to. But again, it could be little things like that for them to think that, okay, you're really paying attention. You care. You think, okay, you knew it was my birthday. Oh my goodness. Wow. Like I never got a note card on my desk and, a gift card on my birthday before. Thank you so much. So little things like that could be really ways that you can help, again, build that connection. And again, make sure it's professional. Make sure you check with your HR department to make sure that the things that you can utilize in regards to gift cards or gifts are within company standards, but really make sure that you're utilizing that. Now, we talked about the relationship with the leader. Now, the other area is that relationship. The relationship that's going to be important that team members have with their peers, with their other team members. So yes, you can build that relationship with you as a leader with that team member, but you're essentially a team. Maybe it's 3, 4, 5 of you all. Maybe it's just 3 of you all. But we want to also make sure that we are doing our part so they can connect with their other peers. I have worked in spaces where I don't really interact with the other divisions within an organization. But when we finally do, it's like, wow, like I wish we had did this before. Or you'll have pockets of organizations or different departments that are having events and cookouts and, little parties, and it's solely just them. And that's okay, but what if your entire organization can have that flow and that feel? So even within your peer groups, your professional peer team member groups, you want to make sure that you're doing your part as a leader to, yes, we connect. So now I need to make sure I create spaces that our team members connect, because we're all working towards a goal here. Yes, you might play one part in this mission, vision, objectives piece. You play this role, but essentially we all are working together. So you want to make sure that you're creating spaces so peers can build relationships. So, and again, it could be those annual company events and those trips that you guys might go to, or it might be going to lunch every month. It might be doing something where you can create that connectivity. Hey, we have a project. Let's come together as a collective and work on this project. And before you even get into work, maybe have that 10-15 minutes of banter, just so people can talk and say, oh, hey, so how are you doing? Oh, well, this is going on with my child as they're navigating COVID in school. And someone's like, oh, well, this is what I did to help them do this. And now they're building a relationship. So it's simple things that you can start doing within your team. So now the team members can start to build relationships with another. And again, that adds to that emotional connection that they have to that role, because now I don't only want to make my leader look good. I want to make sure I'm supporting my team and make sure my team looks good. And now you guys are working like a well-oiled machine. So that other aspect is super, super important that we must do as leaders to make sure we're building and helping really bridge that relationship between peers and the other professionals that are working together in your organization, so you can have that connectivity and have that connection that happens because of all these relationship building ways and strategies that you have implemented. And the last area that we want to focus on is recognition. If you go back to the previous episode, I talked about that appreciation factor, different ways you can show people you appreciate them, but making sure that you have that incentive process. Yes, you might have an awards process. And again, we have to customize it to identify what the person wants and what they feel is important to them. But what can you do where you're showing that person on a regular basis that the company, the organization recognizes them? Yes, as leaders, we probably do our part to potentially recognize our team members. And I hope you're doing that. Help them feel that they are appreciated. But what can we do to take it up a notch so we can ensure that they feel, again, what they're doing in that profession means something to that organization in whole? And your company might have a incentive process or a recognition program, but are you putting them in for awards? Are you doing those company related activities that's going to help recognize them to another level? Are you recommending them for roles? Are you saying, hey, I know that the boss has this opening coming up, or there's this mentorship program that's opening up. I think you should be a part of it because you have done so many great things in the organization, and I really think that I want to recommend you to go there. And that could be a way of you recognizing them because of all the hard work they've done. So there's so many different things that you're doing. You might be doing at your level, but there might be some things that you can just take it up a notch in regards to starting to help them navigate into different roles and really helping them in the space of inclusivity and equity to make them feel like their role is important and what they're doing is important to the organization in total. And again, that builds onto that, again, that emotional attachment to that organization, to that profession as they're navigating their career within that organization, or even if they transition. You never know what these little things can do and engage in a team member that can help, even if they're transitioning out. I know there have been organizations I've left and I've said, you know what, I know that I'm leaving for a better opportunity, but I already have somebody available for you, someone I've already recruited, someone I know is going to be a great fit. Why? Because I valued my time there so much. And I wanted to make sure that I left and they didn't have any hiccups in the process. So I left, but then someone came in right before I trained them and they didn't even have to worry about anything being messed up within the mission, within that division, or with whatever role and responsibility that I had at the time, because again, I had that much buy-in. So we want to really make sure that we're engaging our team members in so many different ways. And throughout, again, the messages before, I've been talking about that, but I really wanted to provide you guys a refresher of what employee engagement looks like, because that is a key factor in making people want to stay within your organization. Because again, individuals don't typically quit the organization, they typically quit the leader, and that's why you need to implement employee engagement. I hope that information helped. Again, share this with a leader, like, subscribe, comment, reach out to me at info@aishathomas.org. And if you need support in these areas, always know, reach out to me and I can provide you some training, some guidance, some support. So you aren't that leader that individuals want to quit. You're that leader that people want to really, really support and stay with because of all the great things you're doing as a leader to support them. So you guys have a great week, and I will see you guys on the next episode.